I'm always asked all these questions about my life, so I decided today that I would broadcast just a little bit. Um, I get asked all the time, like, yo, how did you grow up? So let me say like this. Probably from the age of 9 years old, um, life was a little difficult. I would fight all the time. Like, I would walk home and I would be in all kind of fights with people. Um, I wouldn't fight just kids. I'd fight grown-ups, everything, because a fight to a 9-year-old, if he's fighting another 9-year-old, is a regular fight. I always felt like I was fighting for my life when I was just trying to go to school and just go home and be a regular kid. Um, when you when you're trying to just develop an identity of who you are as a child, sometimes that road becomes difficult. And when I say that, is like I would fight just to fight after a while. I became like a lion in the jungle. Um, the lion doesn't go looking for the fight, but if it's brought to him, he has no option. And so I became like an animal in a sense. Um, there was times I would cry because I would be like, I just wanted to be a normal kid. And I knew like in the environment I was in, that was not an option. Um, there was times I would just want to just sit down and just, I don't know, eat a cookie with some milk, and somebody would just come up and be like, what's up? And then it'd just be on. And that happened for many years. So I had just developed that was going to be my life. Somebody told me if you live to see 18, you're lucky. If you live to see 21, you're blessed. Well, I was blessed. I couldn't let people get close to me any longer because I felt like the people closest to you would be the ones that try to do the most harm to you. So I just surrounded myself with a very small group. Like, mainly just me and CBG would be together all the time. I wouldn't let no harm come to anybody that was in my circle. I remember one day I was walking, and this is when I was older already, and I had already like developed this thing, like, I'm not going to be fighting. I'm going to do something with my life. And some guy walked up to me and he was like, well, what's up? And because I was already programmed to the way that people say, what's up? That meant they want to fight. I just hit him. And he just meant like, what's up? Sometimes we're wired a certain way for so long that we forget there are normal people out there who don't want to harm you. But the way I was wired was like, yo, everybody gets it. You know what I'm saying? I remember I would pray. I prayed this one particular day, and I asked God, just change up the things around me. In the process of when you ask God to change up things around you, you're going to go through some heartache. You have no choice, because you have to go through the storm before you can go through being calm. And I remember going through this storm and telling God, like, why would you want to break me in such a way? And I remember this voice saying, it's not going to give you more than you can handle. It's not going to do that to you. I said, okay. You have to sometimes suffer in order to reap your blessing. And when I say that, I mean sometimes it's going to hurt, and then you will be just fine. I had a person ask me, do you ever think you're worthy to be loved? And I told him no. And I'm going to tell you why. Love, to me, means you have to become weak at some point for somebody else. And at that point, you will become vulnerable. And when you become vulnerable is when people take advantage of you at that moment. People will never let you forget your past. Just keep this in mind. You're going to always hear about something you did before. When you change up and you're trying to live a better life, a better way, people are afraid to let you not be that person, even though they say they don't want you to be that person. You have to stand by what you said to yourself, which was, I know I'm better than that, so I'm going to not be that person. Our friends are only our friends when it's convenient sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them. Our family is family when it's convenient sometimes. You have to ask yourself, am I worthy to myself first? And if you get that answer is yes, then you can move strongly forward in your life. If you were in a relationship and it just didn't work out, you try again and that person is still in the same space that they were in before. And what I mean by space, I mean like their mindset is like, you're always going to be this person. This is what you did to me before. Then that person needs not to be in your life. Because you can't change what was before. You have to understand that not everybody's going to see a different person in you. And I'm going to tell you, it's not that you're a different person. You just have a different mindset now. There are those who will say, I see he's trying. I see she's trying. You'll hear that. But then that other person's not trying. They're waiting for the ball to drop because that's what you've shown before. And then when you start pointing out their faults, they don't want to hear that. They just want to hear your faults. I want you to understand, like, it's okay if you love someone and they don't love you back the way you think you should be loved. It's okay. Because as long as you gave your all, that's all that matters. Some people will say, I'm your friend. I got your back no matter what. And there's probably like 1% of people who say that who actually mean it. The other 99%, if you get in trouble and you get locked up, you're out of mind, out of sight. You have to want to look at life and say, I've been there. I've done that. It didn't work. What can I do to change up and try something different? Are people going to look at you and say, he think he better than everybody else? She thinks she better than everybody else? Absolutely. They supposed to. See, that's when you know you're doing a remarkable job in changing who you are as far as your thought process. I've looked at people and I've said, there's no way I'm going to have these people around me. If you ever just feel like you gotta have people around you, there's a problem. There are some people who just can't live life unless other people are giving them approval. And I say that because a lot of people need social media approval. A lot of people wake up to Facebook before they'll wake up to a Bible. A lot of people will do things that they normally wouldn't do. I always say this, the best relationship in the world is the one that's not broadcasted. Because the moment people know you're happy, that's when they start to do the nonsense. You have to want to win in life. A lot of people are going to look at you and say, how come this is not happening for me? Instead of y'all saying, why am I not getting up and make things happen? I wake up every morning, I thank God just for waking me up. I thank him for the blessings that he's given me and the ones that are coming. I thank him in advance. Because there was times when I used to say to myself, you're not going to be here probably after today, because people hated on me so bad because of what they thought I was going to be when I got older. But I made it. I'm going to tell y'all a story and I'm going to get off. I was at a basketball game. This was just like not too long ago. I was at a basketball game and I had so much anger built up in me because of everything I was going through, personal stuff, family stuff. And I was stressed. And I was smiling and dancing and having a good time at the court, just enjoying it. And this guy, like, I don't know, I was backing his friend down, like, in the paint, because I'm a big dude, 6'5", 260, big, right? And he smacked me, but he caught my face and my hand. And just like that, I went off. I was ready to fight him. I was like, y'all stop. That's it. And my teammates, they grabbed me, and they're two big dudes. And I was moving them. And one of them said, man, I'm glad you didn't swing because you would have broke my jaw. And I had to go home knowing that I was upset about something so minute. Now, mind you, get smacked in the face, you're going to go off. And you always want people to have your back even when you're in the wrong. Like, if you're in the wrong, once you leave and they can tell you, like, okay, I understand why you was mad, but you was in the wrong for that. But you never want to be told you in the wrong in front of people. But sometimes you need to be told you're wrong in front of people. I say that to say this. If God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and he let his son hang on the cross next to a liar and a thief, and he died for our sins and forgiveness, we have to learn to forgive in a moment. We have to learn to forgive. When we walk around like nothing bothers us, and I'm guilty of this. I walk around like nothing bothers me all day. And we hold it in all day. Somebody who doesn't deserve it will catch it. And words hurt worse than any physical beating a person can take. Because once you say it, you can't take the words back. And if we're lucky enough in life to find somebody who loves us to the point where they're like, I'm willing to ride the wave with you because I see the potential in you, we have to get out of our own way. Sometimes we ruin great things because we won't get out of our own way. Don't be used to something. I heard one of my friends tell me, I stay with my girl because I'm used to her. That means there's no love there. Our biggest fear is starting over with somebody who may love us correctly or treat us the way we need to be treated. I'm going to tell you one thing, fellas, and this goes for ladies too. Never let a person tell you, I can find somebody else that can treat me better than you. Because at that point, just tell them to go ahead and go. Tell them, go ahead, go find that person. Because a lot of people, there's nothing worse than a person who needs 24-hour attention. Nothing worse than that. I'm not an outside club type person unless I have to go and do shows. I like to be home. Because if you're home, then you're in a safe environment. If you're home and you're with the person that you're supposed to be with, you got your family, whatever, and you're watching TV, you're just having a good, you can have the best time at home. See, the least amount of people around you means the least explaining you got to do when something goes wrong. A lot of people are not going to agree, but that's facts. I've been on an up climb lately. See, I've been down here. I've been at the bottom for so long that now, like, God sees my heart. So he's letting me slowly but surely get to where I need to get. And my first thing in life was when I was on the up climb. I've always been a great father. I've always said, you know what, even when I wasn't allowed to see my kids, I paid my child support because I figured, let me pay to make sure they're okay. I don't do what some men do, which is like, oh, you don't even see my kid, I ain't gonna pay. No, because that means my kids suffer. But I have an opportunity to raise my 3 youngest kids. And I'm on the phone with them, or I'll pick them up and we'll go do something and we'll talk, because I'm not going to be an absentee father. And I need for you guys to understand, if somebody wants to be in your life and you have kids, and they have to understand that has to supersede y'all's relationship. If you get with somebody and they don't understand that your kids' happiness has to supersede the relationship you're in, that's the wrong person for you. Because you have to make sure your kids know, no matter what, I'm putting you first. There's a lot of men and women out there that get in a new relationship and they forget that they have responsibilities. I'm going to talk about that on my next, I don't know what I'm going to call this, what, Carter's Lyfe, whatever. But I'm going to talk about that next, tomorrow. We'll talk about family and relationships. I'm going to start doing these like maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. But I want y'all to understand something before I go. Just because somebody told you you're not worth anything, that does not mean you're not worth something. You just ain't worth it to them. But you should be worth it to yourself every single day. When people see you coming up and you not bringing them with you, that's when you gonna hear, oh, you better than me. Oh, you this, oh, you that. No, understand this. You came from nothing to get to where you're at. I remember Drake said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. And I still became a better person. You have to understand, you don't always need somebody with you. Sometimes you gotta get there on your own. And then if you want to turn around and say, okay, let me show you how I did it so now you can go do it. See, all you need is that one person to believe in you. Believe in your dreams. That's all you need. Stop trying to impress all these people who could care less about your well-being. Take that and think about that. Stop trying to impress all these people who could care less about your well-being. We always want people to like us. Why? So they can ask us for stuff later on? Nah. Stand on your own merit. If you have to cry, cry. Because when you done crying, start praying. And when you done praying, I told a friend of mine, if you just open the book, if you just open the Bible up, don't look for a scripture or something. Just open it and point. It'll be exactly what you need in that moment. So I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Carter's Lyfe.